Hey everybody, it is Merlin here, and I've got Indigo with me.
Yodel.
She's gonna hold the camera now. All right, Indigo, tell them what we're doing.
We went to go see Transformers 4: Age of Extinction, and there we go. And to be honest, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It wasn't like a 5-star thing, but
no, I would agree with that. It was not that bad, which for these movies is saying quite a bit.
Oh yeah, like it wasn't as. Let's see, 1 was okay. 2 and 3 were terrible.
Oh yeah, they were bad.
And this one's probably the best out of the 4. I'm not saying it's the best movie ever, but it's the best out of the 4.
That sounds pretty accurate. Yeah, the sad thing about it is, this movie is probably the best one.
Oh yeah.
But the question is, why was that?
Well, let's see. I think the first thing first, because I'm such a social justice person, is that Michael Bay almost completely took out every racist and sexist thing he's ever done in his films.
Yeah, but there wasn't a whole lot of, like, ethnic stereotyping. There were a couple scenes that were like, okay, that's your typical...
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
It was very little, yeah.
It was very, very little. Like, it went down from being, like, 90% to, like, 5%.
Yeah.
And, like, part of me thinks he may have just left a couple in just because there was... I noticed a few hints to the other films, like, he was mocking them a little bit.
Yeah, he was kind of poking fun at himself a little bit.
Just a little bit. I think it was kind of his apology, like, sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
One thing I do like about it is that you can tell that Michael Bay actually was listening, because he was making, like, some of the comments, some of the characters maybe were like, references to his other movies. And, like, some of the mistakes that they had, like, even some characters, like, saying how ridiculous certain situations are and how, like, it's ridiculous we're alive or whatever. I mean, it was kind of cool.
Yeah, like, the biggest thing is that all the main Transformers have these lovely, unique designs. Now, obviously, the Decepticons did not get that.
They got it more than last time.
Yeah, they did get it more than last time, but, like, there was Galvatron. Megatron dies and comes back as Galvatron.
There's Stinger.
And Stinger, like, those were the 2 main Decepticons, and they obviously looked very unique, and then you had your soldier
And the cool thing about it
Decepticons.
was, too, actually, even though, like, a lot of these Decepticons were drones, which is basically what they were in the other ones, but this time, they actually made them look more colorful, like they were red or green. Like, they looked more than just gray or black.
Yeah, and then, but the Autobots definitely got a lot of, like, they didn't all look the same. They looked very different.
Yeah.
One could argue they could be, there was one Autobot who was a samurai character. You could argue that might have been a Japanese stereotype, but I will let that slide.
Honestly, I think it's kind of like one of those things, at least according to the Transformers usually, and especially in these movies, they do tend to model their appearances on human culture. And the one guy just liked, the samurai culture, and I guess was studying it. And honestly, it was a cool design. I liked it.
Yeah, like I said, I'm letting it slide because it wasn't, like, super racist.
And the thing is, even though I don't know if most of these characters, like the Transformers, were the most likable characters, at least they were all well defined enough, and we had a lot of time with them, and they did some cool things. I mean, it's better than any of the development we have for any of these other Transformers for the Autobots in the previous movies.
Oh yeah. The human characters in this were much better.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think you'd agree, hon, they're not like the most complex characters ever. They're still pretty cliche, and they have some silly lines here or there, but at least they're characters that you kind of want to see not die.
Yeah, especially, like, the main character, Ken.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he was fucking cool!
Alright, Mark Wahlberg, I mean, I don't know if okay. Admittedly, I don't want to, like, say that Shia LaBeouf, I hate him or anything, but the way
that character was written,
the way they used his character, I think it fit very well with the characters that Mark Wahlberg plays. Kind of like this good-natured, down-to-earth guy that can be a badass when necessary. I mean, Mark Wahlberg...
And he was just trying to be a dad.
And he was. And, like, his story was decent. It got a little bit, heavy-handed, I think, towards the end there. But it was still, a good story arc for him and his daughter. It was
still likable,
He was a likable, guy, kind of underdog. And, I mean, his transition to, like, why he decided to help the Autobots was a little bit, a little easy there. But it still worked,
Yeah, and, like... At first, the reason why they needed to keep him around was to fix fix Optimus because he was an inventor. The second reason after that was because he no longer was safe in his home because of the fact that the evil CIA agents who wanted to destroy Autobots and Decepticons alike had come in, so that they needed to stay hidden. And then, like, they actually helped drive the plot the most because they were like, oh yeah, we have all the secret technology in here. Let's build an awesome plan for you guys so that way you can, I think you missed the turn, honey.
No, we're going.
Oh, we're going Nick's house. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, like they were a part of the plot. They did something. They weren't just there and getting like, oh yeah, the CIA, or like, oh yeah, the military is just gonna drag a couple civilians along just because they're there. Like, they had a reason to be there. So that was pretty cool. And then a lot more robot fighting. Robot fighting. Most of this was robot fighting. You either were seeing a lot of...
Better get the laptop first.
Yeah. Most of it was robot fighting. Most of it was, like, very much focused on plot.
Yeah.
There weren't these silly side things.
Yeah, I would say that this movie had the best plot. I mean, it was still kind of silly, and you know, it didn't. So there were definitely flaws, but
Transformers never was always the most.
That's true, but I mean,
elegant.
There's an element of seriousness to it. I mean, the point is though, this one definitely had a plot that was trying to be more complicated. There was a lot going on, and it was fairly plot driven, which I liked.
Yeah, and like there was none of these silly, weird, like in the third movie, like with Deep Wing. What the fuck?
Yeah, like the random side characters and side plots that went nowhere. Like for the most part, it was very centered. It was very focused, and I think that there was a good balance between the robots and the human characters. It wasn't like mostly dumb human characters. It was toned down quite a bit. I mean, towards like the last act of the movie, it was pretty much all robot stuff.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool because even then, you know, like Mark Wahlberg, excuse me, his character got a hold of one of the alien guns, and he took part in the fighting. So it's like, yeah,
He's doing
it's like
something.
woohoo! So it was a much better film. It was much better compared to its predecessors. I'm not saying out of the movies we have seen this summer, I'd say it's average.
Yeah, it's pretty average.
It's average. And when compared to other films, but compared to within its own series, it's the best one. This is the one that we've been waiting for. I swear, Michael Bay, the first three were just experiments, horrible experiments gone awry, and finally Michael Bay is like, oh, that's how you do it. And wish to kill him and nerd assassinate him goes down just a tad bit. Just a tad.
Yeah, I would say that it's definitely something that it's an improvement for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I the thing about it is though, I mean, I kind of wish that I just feel like I know that there's definitely better storytelling within Transformers, and even though this movie was definitely a step up in the right direction, the potential to improve Transformers is still massive.
Oh yeah,
You
and
know?
then there were some hints at bringing in Unicron and Primus. I'm not making any promises.
Honestly, I don't know. Do you think there will be a next movie? Because we should. I guess we shouldn't spoil it completely what was going on, because there was some interesting stuff in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like for how crowded that movie theater was.
I mean, it made. I feel like it made money. People liked it. I mean, people were even saying it's really long. I think it was probably the best one and one of the better ones. So
I think because Michael Bay took a step up, there may be another one.
I mean, let's put it this way. There might be. I did hear that there were plans for 4 and 5, so I know that 5 is in development. And the thing is this: let's look at it this way. Even though pretty much everybody knows that the Transformers movies are pretty bad generally,
they're enjoyably bad.
People still want to go see the action, the explosions. I mean, whether or not you're a Transformers fan, they're
enjoyably bad. That's the thing. They are films that you can sit down and watch, and you can laugh at, and you can groan at. But you still can watch them. They're watchable. Yeah. That's the problem, is they're big, shiny robots with lots of explosions, and they're very appealing.
That's kind of how I felt about all these movies to some extent, is that, like, even though I know they're really bad and some part of me hates them, I still kind of enjoy watching them.
Yeah.
Like, they're not the worst. Though, I do remember that the second one was pretty bad, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm beneath the enemy scrotum.
Yes, some things happened in that movie.
When we tried to watch that, when my family finally let me watch that film, they kept hitting the skip button.
Well,
And I missed like half the film.
Nobody should see that scene. It was just terrible. Like some of the things that happened, I don't even know why. Like if it was attempts at comedy or what, I don't know. But
I don't know. It's like I think this was clearly aimed at teenage boys or college kids like me. I grew up on Transformers Armada, so I'm
a Beast Wars guy myself, but
yeah, you know, there was people who grew up on Beast Wars and Transformers Armada who are now hitting college, and I think he was trying to appeal to, they're teenage boys, so obviously they like sex.
Well, you know, that's Michael Bay in a nutshell right there. But
Michael Bay forgot what it was like to be a teenager.
I don't know about him, but like I said, you know, I think we could agree it's definitely a step in the right direction. I don't know, like, now that I'm leaving, I'm like, okay, I'm not sure if I'd watch it again, but if you put this one on and said, hey, I'd be like, I could watch it again.
There were still some, I mean, like, when Optimus first starts fighting, here I am!
Yeah, he was angry in this one, which he had a good reason to be.
Yeah, he was pretty pissed off.
You get some good actors in this movie, too.
Oh, yeah.
You got some Kelsey Grammer, Stanley Tucci, some good names, but there's always...
Stanley Tucci was fun.
Yeah, he was fun, actually. Yeah, I don't know. You know, a step in the right direction. I'll be honest, if they actually focus more on the Transformers, which it seemed like they might actually be doing towards the end.
Oh, yeah.
I could definitely see another movie actually being pretty good, potentially.
It actually kind of looks like Optimus might be getting a solo movie.
Maybe.
Which would be awesome if we did.
Maybe, but we don't want to give that away too much, I guess. But
I don't know. That'd be amazing.
That'd be pretty cool.
Michael Bay, do it. Do it!
And those Dinobots are in there, eventually.
Dinobots, yes. Oh my gosh. You have to wait for, like,
now
2 hours.
I do think that the length started to get a little noticeable towards the end. Like, I felt
it's like
could have been trimmed down, like, maybe a half an hour. But,
come on.
But overall, I don't know. Let's do our grades. If you had to give this one a grade, how much would you give it? Just upon, like, your brief reflection.
C+.
That's actually exactly what I'm thinking. C+. Like, it skirts on positivity, but it makes it.
Yeah, it's that kid in the class that you know is going to fail high school who suddenly decided he didn't want to fail high school.
And so he's trying.
And so he's trying.
He's trying really hard, and he's like, you know what?
Michael Bay, you don't want to fail in the nerd high school.
No, well,
he's trying.
He's pretty much screwed it over. The next question is, though, how's he going to do with Ninja Turtles?
I don't know. Like, I saw the trailer for that, and I'm like, God, no!
I mean, it's clever.
Because it was clever, and it showed all the fun things about Ninja Turtles, and it was like, oh, God, please, because there are 2 shows that I grew up or 3 shows I grew up watching. X-Men, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Transformers Armada. Michael Bay has now 2 of my favorites in his hands. And you think some nerd boys are bad? Wait until you see a nerd girl. As in, I will hire armed assassins.
She's adorable with her armed assassins. But no, honestly, you know what? I don't want to get too off here. We'll just wrap this video up real quick. But on a side note to Ninja Turtles and just Michael Bay, whenever he does like these high fantasy sci-fi action movies that are like based on a nerd fandom, the one thing that annoys me is that when it comes to using CGI, his stuff just looks ugly. Like, I'll be honest. I mean, I know that people think it looks cool. I don't like the way the Transformers look. I think they look kind of muted and ugly, honestly. I mean, they look cool-esque, but they don't look colorful or bright. They aren't pleasant to look at, really. I don't think Optimus is pleasant to look at. I think the Turtles look really ugly and disturbing, so...
And also, they borderline on black stereotyping.
Especially, was it Donna? No, it wasn't Ralphie and... Yeah,
Ralph and Donnie.
Ralph and Donnie seemed like
a little stereotype.
The chains and I don't know.
The good news is Shredder does not look like he's going to be the white skinny guy that we saw in the original trailer.
Yeah, it looks like Shredder actually is his own character, which is pretty coal. Though
which is good.
The Foot Clan still looks like they're SWAT people. They're terrorists with guns, and I'm just like, that's not
the Foot Clan.
Come on, Bay. I know that's like your thing, but can't you they're ninjas, man. They're fucking ninjas.
They're freaking ninjas. Can you leave the American military out of it for one day?
I don't think he can do a movie without them. It seems, well, Pain and Gain, I guess, but yeah, there's got to be. Then. I don't know. He specializes in action.
Isn't Pain and Gain those guys actually former military?
Yeah. Never mind.
There you go. Well, Michael Bay has okay. You know how Tarantino has a fetish for feet? Michael Bay has a fetish for the American military. Watch out, American military.
Yeah, that's right. He likes you guys. Well, that's his thing. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? To be honest, this one wasn't god awful, so who knows?
Yeah. So keep digging, Michael Bay. You're almost out of the grave.
Yeah, you're starting to kind of get out of it.
Climb.
All right, guys.
Climb.
It has been fun. It's
Bye-bye.
Merlin, Indigo.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Bye-bye.